Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you're watching this. So, this is MDM Real Talk, and we're back with another one. This talk will be having about a video posted by Ryan Davis and his thoughts on what Willow Smith said about how she feels excluded or ostracized by the Black community. So, we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. I am Mackenzie.
What's up, y'all? I'm Marissa.
Hey y'all, Happy New Year. I'm Darian.
And this is MDM Real Talk. So what is everybody's thoughts?
Honestly,
I mean, I feel like he's telling the truth. Like,
yeah.
we don't exclude them. I feel like they have almost done everything they can to exclude themselves. I'm not gonna lie. And it's like, we still got love for them though. It's like, when we think about Willow and Jaden, like, we're still, like, they're part of the family. But they don't really be trying to rock with the Black community, which is crazy because, to his point, their parents are like pillars in the Black community. It's like crazy. So I agree with him.
Yeah, no, I do too, honestly. I mean, I feel like Black families, we span across a huge spectrum nowadays. Like, we're gonna have people who are interested in a whole different types of things. Um, and I feel like for someone in the Black community to be, I say, not your typical Black person whose interests are just kind of far out there right now, is, at least today, it's not uncommon to find people like that. So, and I feel like if anybody's going to be open and accepting about people, it's going to be the Black community. I feel like,
Yeah, because we like accept everybody, even people
yeah,
we shouldn't.
no, I don't think we should on a lot of circumstances, but I feel like in this case, yeah, and specifically because to his point of who their parents are, like, that's how I think it's so shocking. There's like your parents, like, are Jada and Will Smith, like, their backgrounds couldn't get any Blacker, like. So I can't understand why you would feel like you're not accepted. Honestly, I feel like it's a little pouty little bougie kid growing up and gets a few criticisms on something that they've done, and now they feel like Black Twitter or the Black community is not accepting when it's really not the case. I feel
Yeah,
like,
and also I feel like, to your point, Marissa, like they grew up a very privileged life, and so they had the opportunities to explore in these eclectic avenues that most people of color, Black community, don't have. So to Ryan Davis's point also, um the way we show love is making fun of. So like if we're not saying nothing, then low key you ain't about nothing. So
right.
like, you know what I mean? So like if you're doing something weird, if you're doing something funny, if you're doing something different, we're gonna say something, but that's not to say that means we don't accept what you're doing. That means that we low key accept it. We're gonna make fun of you, make you think about it, but it's all love in the end. And I could also see maybe on Willow and Jaden's perspective, like them doing something strange and maybe a Black person being like, that's weird, and then them essentially saying everybody hates us. And I don't know if that's necessarily the case. It's just, you did something weird, we're gonna call you out on it, and we still love you though. But moving on.
Famous for the lunch table roast sessions. Like,
Yeah.
this with your friends, and if you said something that was just out of this world, like just weird as shit, just like people gonna be like, what? Nah. I didn't go in on you. I feel like that's a natural part of a Black person's childhood. Like, you're roasted by your friends, and it still continues the older you get. Like, we still rag on each other as old as we are, and I don't think it's gonna stop. Like that's just, it's like, I love you, like you said, but I'm still
But you're
crying.
doing something weird, dude.
Right. You're doing something that, like, I don't necessarily think is normal. And I think and I could say that's always right because I think sometimes we as Black people point stuff out that make us uncomfortable or we're not used to, and so we make fun of it. And that's not to say we don't love you. It might just make somebody uncomfortable, and that's how they deal with it. And that's, like I said, not always the right way. But I also feel like it's necessary to say, one, is there some projection going on? Like, how do you feel about what you do day to day? Like, is it really us that doesn't like you, or is it maybe you who feels like you don't fit in because of what you do? So you're projecting that to the rest of us. Because I've never heard any Black person say, we don't rock with Willow and Jaden Smith.
Right.
Like, never. And so that's one thing. And then two, it's like, if you don't grow up around a bunch of Black people, granted, I don't know who they grew up around. It's interesting to me because I feel like Will is constantly cracking jokes. So I can't imagine him not cracking jokes on his kids. But if you don't grow up in a around Black people, maybe they didn't experience the jokes and stuff like that that come from friends and family and people maybe that you just met, but they ragging on you, and it's just funny and it's just life, and we all move on. Nobody takes it personally. So if you didn't experience that, that again is kind of your issue. Like, we all live this life of, like Marissa said, lunch table roast sessions. Like, we all talking about everybody. It's just part of how we grew up. But if you didn't grow up like that, I don't think it's fair to put it on, the Black community that we don't rock with you because we do that. Like, we do that for everybody. It doesn't make you special that we're doing that to you.
Right. And then also, like I said, so if you're surrounded by people who are doing similar things that you're doing, like, so if what you're doing we consider weird, but the 20 friends that you have are all doing that, then it's like, I feel like you have a very like honed in view of the world. You know what I mean? Like, like I said, not everybody had the opportunity to have so much influence from so many different places, and I think that it's hard for you to say, well, they don't like me, when it's like, we may not understand you. And I feel like you can, instead of you pointing a finger at the Black community, maybe try and help us to understand more what you're doing. You know what I mean? And
or even like to know you, like to that point, like, we don't like you, we don't like you. We don't know you. Like, you don't show up in our spaces. You don't, like Will and Jada do, like with other Black actors, actresses, Black kids. Like, you don't show up in our spaces. So we don't even really know you for real to not like you. We just kind of know you by way of your parents. And we're like, we accept you because your parents are awesome.
Right. And like, but I'm also not trying to gaslight them. Like, they obviously feel some type of way. And I feel like it's not just them who have these type of feelings about the Black community, but I feel like there also needs to, I just don't like it when people say, because this one girl in my high school was Black and she excluded me from her friend group, now I hate the whole Black community. It's like, I don't know if that's necessarily fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree though about the gaslighting thing. Sorry, I didn't realize that this is going to be noisy. I agree about the whole gaslighting thing. I definitely don't think it's a good idea to gaslight. I just think it's also not fair to be like, we feel like the whole Black community doesn't like us. Like, that's not fair to us either. So it's like, you may feel that you're not accepted or included, but don't put that on all of us. Like, especially like, what have you done? What have you done to see what part you may have played in that? That's all I'm saying. Like, let's look at it from all angles. Obviously, as you said, their feelings are valid and that is respected. But it's not fair to pin it on the whole Black community that we don't respect you or we don't like you or accept you or whatever. I don't think that's fair either.
Yeah. The way the video came off, it seems like Willow is the only one that has that perspective. Even though she used, I guess he said us, meaning her and her brother. But I honestly don't feel like her brother feels that way. I mean, Jaden does a lot for the community, like, in the Black community, like all that stuff that he did in Flint with donating like fresh water to them. Like, I feel like that's huge, because you don't see people doing that, especially a lot of Black people. You don't see Black celebrities out there trying to help out, for a town in the U.S. that still doesn't have fresh water. That's another topic for another time. But so I feel like she's kind of alone in her feelings with this, and it just, I feel like it's one of those, like you said, Mackenzie, one person said something and now all of a sudden she's like, everyone doesn't like me. But like, instead of assuming the whole community, like, why don't you ask? Like, you have all these big social platforms, like, go on your Instagram, go on your Twitter and be like, hey guys, like, I'm kind of feeling this way, whatever. Like, give me some feedback. Like, how do y'all feel about the stuff that I post, the stuff that I do? Like, try to understand on both sides instead of just making huge assumptions. Because then if it's one thing the Black community will do is we'll talk back to you about it. Like, we're not gonna just let you assume some shit and then just like let it slide. It's like, no, wait. You can't just say this and then have nothing to back it up with. Like, we're big on receipts.
Big.
So yeah, I really feel like it's just like that little privileged kid mindset.
But right, but also, I mean, in reference to their artwork and everything, like, I feel like people in general, and specifically Black people, we need the outliers. We need the people who are willing to go to different places, explore different things, explore new things, because that's how we are able to essentially expand our knowledge as a culture. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I may not be the one to, I don't know, go to the Amazon or whatever, but it'd be nice to see someone who looked like me go to the Amazon, so I know that I could go to the Amazon. You know what I mean? Like, I think you still need those people. You still need those people who are willing to push the boundaries and break things so we can continue to progress forward as a culture. So that also kind of makes me mad that they feel that we've excluded them, because like, we low-key need you. Even though you're doing things that we don't understand, you're allowing us a window to try and understand, to see. Right. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you need that. I think, I don't know all the ins and outs of Willow Smith or her brother Jaden, but I've seen what they've done. I've seen stuff that she's done since they were little, since they were both little. The movies they've been in, the music they've made, like now the clothes and all of that, and who they are, like personality wise, from what I've seen from a media perspective. And I just think they're just eclectic individuals. Their parents, I feel like, have them in an environment where it was like, just be who you are, be who you want to be, and we're going to accept that one way or the other. And I mean, while my resources probably weren't as strong as theirs growing up, I grew up in a similar household. My mom was just like, however you want to be, like, be, and we're still going to be here, we're still going to be your parents, we're still going to love you and what have you. That being said, though, I feel like it's both ways. Understand us so we can understand you, and vice versa, because you are a celebrity. We don't know what goes on in the ins and outs of your life and what have you. We only know what you choose to show us. And even that can still be just like an inkling of information. So yeah, we like you, Willow. We like you.
You are loved. You are loved, and you are a part of our community.
You is smart. You is important.
Any other thoughts?
Oh, I do have one thing though.
Okay.
It's kind of piggybacking off of what Darian was saying earlier about roasting and how it may not be the best form of not necessarily communication, but the best thing to do to people, even though it's just how certain people grew up. And it's always been like that. I mean, my parents got roasted by their friends growing up, and it still happens. But I think as a Black community, though, we are some of our biggest critics. Somebody does one bad thing, and we Black Twitter goes ham. you know.
We are very big on canceling people really quickly.
So I can understand if she feels like disheartened by that, because it's like you do one thing and people are like, it's just like it's blown up out of proportion, especially when you're a celebrity on that scale. So I can understand why she might feel that way. Um, but I feel like if people are not really like really going ham on you, like I don't see nobody cussing at her or like, you know, posting just like out of pocket things about her. I feel like if it's not on that scale, I would literally just like dust it off like to the best of my ability. And that's easier said than done, of course.
But right, but I also feel like it's about like accepting the consequences of your actions too. Like if you choose to wear a all white Batman suit to a nice event, like okay, cool, you want to do that? Feel free to do it. You are more than welcome to do that. However, the consequence of your action is you're going to get talked about, and you should be, if you are safe within yourself to choose to do that, knowing that that's an outlandish thing to do, knowing that it's outlandish, then you should be safe within yourself to accept, not necessarily accept, but be okay with the comments that you have behind your actions. Like,
yeah. And
I feel like that's fair. Like, I feel like that's a very fair point.
But the thing is like that'll comments about something like that will pop up whether you're a celebrity or not. It's just that because you're a celebrity, you might get more comments than an average Joe. But if a shade room posted some random dude at a wedding in a white Batman suit, we still gonna talk about him the same way we gonna talk about you.
Like, but that's fair, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but I think in reference to like why maybe Willow or Jaden or whoever ever feel like they're not accepted, it's like, no, that's not necessarily us saying you're not accepted. You chose to be yourself. Cool, love it, and but with that, you have to be able to be strong enough to be able to take that criticism when you get it. Like, no one's saying you can't be yourself. No one kicked you out of the party. No one, you know what I mean? Like, no one's doing that. But you know what? That's not a normal thing. So people are gonna say something. Like, you can't be mad. You can't have it both ways. You can't. Yeah. You can't choose to be yourself, be happy within it, but then be pissed off when someone may or may not be cool with it. You know what I mean? You can't have it both ways.
And truly, it's like, I don't even know if they realize how lucky they are that they can truly be themselves and have it not affect like their well-being as far as like the way that they make money. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of us go to work every day. Like you got to be able to code switch. You got to be able to like, okay, I need to be put together at work. I need to do this. And you're able to cut off your eyebrows and shave your head and be in a Dolce & Gabbana campaign. Like not everybody has that kind of lifestyle. And right. So it's like, okay, people are going to talk. Yeah, because people talk. Like you're a celebrity. I don't know what you want.
Right. And also your group of people, like the celebrity population is the minority in reference to the world. So like Dolce and Gabbana's crowd saw that you cut your eyebrows and this, that, and the third off and thought it was cool. But the people who follow, or the people who would think that was cool, that's a very small group. Mm-hmm. The world, like you said, Darian, the world is who are just working class or whatever, like who don't have that luxury, are the majority. So like you're probably going to get more backlash from those people than the small group of people that actually, you know, like see beauty in that. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I do. I don't think it's fair. And I don't know if they're looking at it this way or not. I can't say, obviously, because I'm not them. I do want to acknowledge Marissa's comment about Jaden, like, interacting with the community. And he did do that. I think he also had some kind of campaign for, like, maybe this is the same thing, like boxed water or something like that. And he, like, went around, like, yeah. So it's like, okay, I see him involved in the community. I'm going to be honest. And, you know, I'm not like heavily involved in celebrities and stuff like that, so I could totally be just misinformed. But I don't think I've ever seen Willow like super involved in the community. So it's like you, and to our earlier point, you're saying maybe the Black community doesn't accept you, but I don't know what kind of effort you're putting into like be involved and
Right.
to be included, like this is not one way. And what's funny is that no matter what they do, we still do accept them. Like regardless of how y'all show up, whether it's coming
If
to
someone,
events or whatever, like we still accept y'all.
right,
So
and I don't think they understand. If let a white person say something bad about any one of them kids, we gonna come for your whole throat.
Exactly. Exactly.
Period. So we there. We are there. We are there to support, trust, and believe.
Oh yeah, yeah. We go talk about you. We'll be there when push comes to shove. And
Right.
That's also what's so great about the Black community is like we'll rag on each other all day long, but if somebody came for one of us, what? Nope. Mm-mm.
And I'll also say that even though we do have a very high cancel culture, I would also say that we are pretty forgiving. Like we
I was gonna
still
say
sit up,
nobody's ever really canceled for sure.
right.
For sure. Like
We still out here playing Michael Jackson songs, R. Kelly songs, Whitney Houston songs, like all this stuff. Like we're still out here. Like, so I would say that, which I'm sure is probably a issue within itself, but we are very willing to forgive for whatever reason or open to forgiveness.
agreed. I mean, bottom line, we accept the Smith kids. We love them as our own, just as we love Will and Jada. I think it's just a matter of we don't really know if you want to be involved with us,
Mm-hmm. But we still would be there for you.
Yeah, but still, like that's, and just to piggyback off of what was just said, like I think that is part of what makes the Black community so amazing is that even though we will rag on you, we are going to talk about you and we are going to talk to you about you. Okay. We're not going to hide nothing. We're going to tell you what we think.
At you.
Right. But regardless, like we got you. But do you have us?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All hearts and minds clear?
Crystal.
I just watched The Parent Trap and there was in it. The little phrase was in there. Just like, get the picture.
All right. Well, that is the end of MDM Real Talk. We will see you next week, or you'll hear from us next week. Have a good one, you guys.
Peace.